Hi Scorpio, welcome to your weekly forecast for July 13th through the 19th. Good news guys, I've got the schedule all worked out, so these weekly forecasts are going to start getting posted more in advance instead of the Monday of or the Sunday before. So those will be coming up sooner. And we're going to see what's happening for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week ahead, my darlings. This is going to be for you guys. So let's jump right on in here and see what's happening for my fellow Scorpios. And I want to say a big thank you to Rapid Luxury for making and sending me these nails. Thank you. Her info is in the description for my fellow nail enthusiasts. But we're going to see what's happening the week ahead. And the first card here is Temperance. Okay. Temperance. So I know a lot of people like to look at the tarot cards in terms of the astrological associations. And so Temperance could indicate some of you are dealing with a Sagittarius, or if you have Sagittarius in your chart, or if you're on that Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, your Sagittarius side might really be coming out and be very beneficial for you in the coming weeks and months. Now, let's put Zodiac aside for a moment here. Temperance is a major arcana card. So anytime we have the major arcana cards coming up, it's going to be a new chapter that we're entering. We're coming into a new chapter. We're coming into a new time in our life, which is going to be very significant crossroads, very significant learning experience. So anytime we're at those crossroads kinds of times, it's a time that we really have our spiritual team around us. Our guardian angels and guides are around us. The archangels are around us. Those of us who are preparing to embark on life purpose kind of stuff, especially since Temperance can indicate spirit working through you and spirit moving through you. Okay, Temperance is one of those cards that can be associated with awakening when we begin to allow ourselves to be of service or enter into a life of service. Okay, it's also going to indicate having to be patient with yourself through the process, because what the journey you're about to embark on can be a long one. Okay, sometimes. So these are general messages. The energies are going to apply to us in different ways. One of the things that's really jumping out at me, however, is this yellow here, like this shade of yellow. And for me, that's going to indicate the solar plexus. And the solar plexus, a lot of the times, we can associate this with our identity, like with who we are and our identity, or having the courage to embrace or accept our identity. So Scorpio, for a lot of you, this could indicate where you're kind of waking up to your authentic self, or you're beginning to realize who you are authentically, and like having the courage to embrace that, like to make some kind of a statement, or to step into the world where you feel like this is the way that you're going to make a difference, or this is the way you're going to make a change, but also like this is who you are. And I feel for a lot of you, there's a strong spiritual connection here, a very strong spiritual connection. So I feel a lot of you are taking some kind of a stand for like newfound religious, not religious, but like spiritual beliefs. Okay. Again, it's a general reading, so it will be different ways for different ones of you. The stars are also really jumping out at me. So stars for me are a symbol of like your angels are guiding you, like listen to your intuition. You're being given, you know, little pebbles or little breadcrumbs to follow. And so I feel a lot of you are having a very strong awakening in your senses, like your gut's really speaking to you right now. Listen to it. Your next card here, my darlings, is the Eight of Cups. Now, this is a really spiritual card. And so when I said, I feel for a lot of you, there's some spiritual awakening here or spiritual work, this is kind of confirming that for me. And those of you that you watch my readings, you may have heard me talk about the Eight of Cups as kind of like an overachiever card or a go-getter card. A lot of the times I see Eight of Cups come up for somebody who's really driven, really kind of ambitious, or somebody that like they don't rest until they accomplish a certain goal. But the thing that happens with Eight of Cups is you reach the goal and you're happy for a little bit, and then you're like, oh, but something is still missing, something is still missing. So we set the next goal and the next goal and the next goal, and it's this vicious cycle that nothing really seems to bring us the happiness or the fulfillment we thought it was going to. So Eight of Cups is saying we're not going to be happy or fulfilled until we embrace and make that connection, make that spiritual connection. So I feel that what's happening for many of the Scorpios right now is they're making that spiritual connection. Now the moon is also really standing out to me in the card, and the way she's kind of looking at it or walking towards it. So I do feel like a lot of you are going to start kind of embracing the moon cycles, right? Where like you're doing your spiritual work or your spiritual practice, and you might be using the full moon as a time to release. You might be using the new moon as a time to manifest or to call in. But I really, really feel like there's this intuitive healing that you're doing within yourself, and you're beginning to make your own connection. Even if you're somebody that you've been studying astrology for many years, or you've been really kind of going to spiritual seminars and workshops and getaways and things like this, it's finally clicking for you. You're finally making the connection. You're finally making your own connection on a very, very deep level, okay? Eight of Cups also, some of you are just walking away from a headache that you're realizing it's just not worth it. It's not worth the power struggle. And see the way he's like sleeping here, okay? And I'm not making this like a battle of the genders. I'm not saying it's men versus women. I'm not saying anything derogatory or negative about men. It's just one person is awake, one person is asleep. That's all I'm saying. So I do feel some of you are giving up some kind of a power struggle where maybe you've been trying to wake somebody up or help them or change them. And you're like, you know what? This is their journey. This is where they're meant to be. You know, they want to be on that level. I'm going to let them be on that level, and I'm going to focus on me and what I need to do for me. So I feel a lot of you are laying some kind of a power struggle to rest. And for some of you, this is involved in a work situation where you haven't been wanting to look for a new job, or you haven't been wanting to leave because you've been in a power struggle. You've been wanting like vindication or redemption, or you've been wanting to like get somebody fired or get somebody in trouble or like expose someone. And you're like, you know what? It's not worth the headache. It's not worth my inner peace. So I feel a lot of you are laying down like certain battles or power struggles that you're realizing is just taking up valuable, precious energy that's unnecessary. Your next card here is Ten of Wands. And so that's kind of confirming what I was feeling here in the message or in the energy, right? Because I was saying I felt like a lot of you wanted to put down this power struggle or like lay it down. And so Ten of Wands is a card that comes up when we might feel a little bit burdened. We might feel a little bit overwhelmed. We have a lot on our shoulders. And so we're ready to just kind of set it down. We've done whatever we were meant to do. We learned whatever we were meant to learn, and we're ready to set it down and to free ourselves of that burden. And if you look at this card and you see there's like, even though I know we're dealing with mermaids, right? Mermaids in ocean. There's all of like this sense of fire around her. There's all this fire around her. Smoke, fire. And I feel, Scorpio, a lot of you are stepping away from this feeling or needing of having to put out fires, like having to be the rescue or having to be the hero. You don't want to do it anymore. And you, again, and for some of you, this could be a work situation where you're constantly jumping through hoops, and you're maybe even holding up a place. You're like, man, if I leave here, it's gonna fall apart, and maybe you feel bad about doing that. But or if it's just a family situation, friend situation, relationship, whatever it might be, you're done. You're done with having to carry and lift up and fix and rescue. You don't want to do it anymore. I'm hearing the song in my head. Is it I think the band is Family of the Year. It's called Hero. I don't want to be your hero. Yeah, so I just kind of feel some of you feel like you've had a lot of pressure on your shoulders and you don't want to assume the responsibility anymore of, taking care of, fixing things. Now, 10 of Wands could also indicate the need to delegate, like the need to ask for help. But I just kind of feel like a lot of you are dealing with people that even if you asked, they wouldn't step up. They wouldn't make any changes. And so in some ways, Scorpio, you're realizing that maybe some of this behavior has been a little enabling. And you're like, you know what? I'm not anybody's enabler, not anymore. So I really feel like you're stepping away from certain unspoken contracts you've found yourself in. The next card here is the Page of Swords. And Page of Swords can indicate gathering information. It could indicate writing and journaling is going to be very helpful for you at this time. But for me, in my readings, Page of Swords is a card that comes up when Spirit is encouraging you to speak your truth. So Scorpio, I feel like there's been certain people or situations you've been wanting to distance yourself from, but you have not, like, I don't want to say you've held your tongue, because I don't feel that you've been like, on the verge of like popping off on anybody, but more kind of like, I think a lot of you are awake and you've been trying to be like in this place of compassion where you realize maybe people are sleeping, or you realize people maybe are not as intelligent as, the level that you might be on right now. And so you've been holding back in that way. You've been trying to go easy on people, or you've been like, well, let me not make it an issue. But I really feel, Scorpio, like a lot of you are feeling more and more moved to speak your truth. And the reason for this is especially true for those of you Scorpios, that you always find yourself in situations where you have to be the strong one and you have to be the hero, right? Like when you need help, people don't take you seriously, or they think you've just got it, or you're really strong, or you're really capable, because we've found ourselves in situations where like we put our needs or our issues on the back burner to be the strong one, to be the tough one, to be the badass, And so with the Page of Swords, you're breaking out of that agreement and you're learning to stand up for your needs. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be fighting, but you're speaking up. Like, you know what? Well, when you said that or when you did that, it hurt my feelings, or I was a little bit offended by that comment, or you know what, I really don't want to watch that movie, or I really don't want to have that for dinner tonight. Like it could be little tiny things, but you're starting to speak up, and this is making a statement to the universe that you have a right to want what you want, and you have a right to feel what you feel, and that if people are going to be in your life, they have to take your feelings into consideration. I feel like a lot of you Scorpios have just found yourself in situations where people treat you like you don't have feelings. Like they just see you as so strong and so powerful and so capable. They treat you like your feelings could never get hurt, or you could never feel tired, or you could never feel scared, right? And some of you are tired of having to be the strong one and having to be the fixer all the time. And so this is the way, this Page of Swords energy, by just speaking up in the little moments and little things, that you're going to be able to start making this shift. We're going to go ahead and pull your oracle message here and see what's coming up for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And see what's here. You guys might also want to check out your Moon and Rising sign, because it can be helpful. Or add more information. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you if you want to schedule on the Calendly link. So the card you have, Scorpio, is Alchemy. And so let me try to make it a little bit more clear. It says, you have the Midas touch right now, and every project you begin turns to gold. So this is alchemy, okay? So what's happening, Scorpio, is as you're stopping this process of, carrying and rescuing everybody else, you're able to put your focus, your time, your energy into things that are going to be more profitable for you. A lot of you are leaving a dead-end job, or like you've already hit the ceiling, whatever's going to happen there. And you're investing your time and energy and talents into something that's going to take you a lot farther or be a lot more productive for you. Alchemy too, on an energetic level, is associated with Saint Francis. In terms of archangels, it's associated with Archangel Michael. I said Saint Francis and I misspoke. I meant to say Saint Germain. Saint Germain. I'm sure somebody's already in the comments correcting me, pushing their glasses up. Actually, there's a lot of that. People, oh my gosh, God forbid I misspeak or I use the wrong word. People lose their minds. Saint Germain. Saint Germain is associated with alchemy as well as Archangel Michael. And alchemy is a fancy word, I guess, to put it simply, is when we're recycling something, we're transforming it into something else, right? It's you clear energy, you remove imperfections and impurities, and you're left over with like the valuable stuff or the good stuff. Alchemy is the process in which they would take metal and they would purify it and they would like pull gold from it and they'd get like gold, right? And so energetically, a lot of you are able to take the toxic experiences and the difficulty around you and just kind of cleanse and purify and, you know, have the good stuff kind of around you. Those of you who are cleansing, who are releasing, who are healing, especially those of you who are doing like the moon cycle releases and stuff, call on Archangel Michael to take the energy that you've been releasing and to transmute it, to turn it into pure love, you know, white light for the highest good of all. There's a lot of cleansing happening here. Alrighty, Scorps. Again, if you'd like a private reading, you can schedule with me through the Calendly link. And I'm going to be announcing the winner of the free 30-minute reading and the winner for the July giveaway in a couple of weeks. So there's still time to enter for that. I'm just choosing one winner from Facebook and one winner from Instagram from the comments and the likes on the posts. So there's still time to get in on that if you haven't already. And every single month, I'm going to continue to give away a different prize and a free reading. I want to say thank you so very much, guys, for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to watch your channel, The Angel Messages. Or those of you who are more interested in love and romance, don't forget to watch your love readings. Those are also linked in the description of the video. And a lot of you have been very kind, very sweet, very generous with me. The nails, the jewelry, all of that is linked in the description. So you guys do not have to, you know, send me things, but I do appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you and put the information on there for what I have received in case anyone wants to check out and support small business. Please do, guys. Again, thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week. Take care.